What is my favorite computer? Well, to be my favorite computer, I must have used it a lot. Is it this MacBook Pro that's buried beneath some garbage? Well, no. It's nice, but actually, no. It is the iMac. Well, it's probably the second, number two, but it's not my favorite computer. And it's also not my ThinkPad. I only used it a month and it's great so far, but I'm no experienced YouTube reviewer who immediately knows that it's the best and his favorite device after a couple of weeks, you know? Sarcasm off. No, my favorite computer is in fact this one. Yeah, on this channel you don't see it all that often. It's given not enough credit in my opinion. This is my main PC. I built it in 2015 and it has just reached its a celebration of 6,000 usage hours, and all of them have been trouble-free unless Windows has fucked over something. That is of course not the fault of the computer. I only had problems with the operating system. This thing never had a single problem since I built it, and I have used it. It's doing all sorts of stuff all the time, and right now in the past months I have been sitting at these desks for hours and hours and hours, and it's always been there for me. And yeah, I don't even remember when I shut it down the last time. I usually just put it to sleep. And so yeah. So what specifications have we got? Here you go, guys. We got an Intel Xeon E3-12330V3. Yeah, it's not really a mainstream processor you usually see. 3.3 GHz quad-core 8 threads, Haswell architecture, and a whopping 24 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, it's a little bit overkill, but believe it or not, the most I have been using was in fact at 1.21 gigabytes. Yes, 21 gigabytes of RAM used. So yeah, didn't skip a beat. I know some of you might want to know some more detailed specs of the processor, so here you go. It's the old socket 1150, so not too new in fact. This wasn't even cutting edge in 2015, and yeah, so we got an Asrock H87 Pro 4 motherboard, which I also like quite a lot for all its connectors. However, if you try to Hackintosh it, no, I've got very bad experiences with Hackintoshes with this motherboard. So yeah, don't do it. But other than that, it's a great motherboard. Here you go, DDR3 RAM, no DDR4 yet. And the graphics. Yeah, we got an R9 280 AMD GPU with 3 gigs. It's nothing crazy by modern standards, but believe it or not, this is still overkill for what I do. It's really overkill. When I built this system, I planned on gaming a little more, but I don't really game all that much. I really rarely do it, to be honest, and yeah, for just doing my tasks, this GPU isn't really stressed at all, so if it continues working, this will probably stay for now. And again, it never had a problem. Even if I ran games, it never had a problem for me. So, but then again, I'm no huge gamer, so this is, you can't really talk with me about gaming detailed performance. So, but anyway, I don't even know that much about graphics cards, to be honest, and this one, a good friend of mine recommended me, and I took his recommendation, and it was a good decision. This has never had a problem, and it is very silent also, which is good. Here we got all the drives. We got a Samsung 850 Evo SSD, which has only 250 gigabytes, so this is probably going to be the next piece of hardware that I will upgrade. This computer started off with only 16 gigabytes of RAM and the Samsung and a 2 terabyte drive, and now it has, as you see, some more drives. We got here, this is the one I put in, 2 terabyte. I think it's a Western Digital or Seagate. Well, probably Seagate because it says ST. This is the Western Digital. I put another 2 terabyte on it, in it, and on top of that, I put another 1.5 terabyte in it. So I've got quite some terabytes of storage, which I am actually using quite good. And I have this server here where I have put some data on to kind of get more free space. But yeah, these are all the drives. So of course I will not leave you at that. I will also show you the inside. Now, I'm very sorry about this very bad lighting situation. Okay, that improved it a bit. I'm using this old Fractal design case, and still I would recommend it to anybody who builds his own custom PC. Yes, it's kind of expensive, $100. At least I paid $100 for it, but believe me, it's worth it. And I will show you why. In fact, David in his main PC build took the current, or well, the one that was the latest one at the time, and it's just as great. So, and yeah, I still have a DVD drive, believe it or not. Oh my god, yeah. Here we get like some fan controls, but I never really touch them. And this doesn't really get hot, like at all. We got here, yeah, 29 degrees on the processor, so yeah, this is a cool machine. And here we reveal the inside of this machine, and these parts have all been pretty good parts, and so if you disagree, well, say what you want, but they lasted until now without a single issue, so you know, I'm calling them good. We get here this Arctic freezer, which is a cooling unit of the processor, and while this fan got a little more noisy over the years, it's still really not a problem to me, but I know that this was once a little more quiet. If you slow it down, it gets more quiet, so this fan is kind of, you know, starting to wear a bit. This one not at all though. This one is just as silent as it ever was. Here is the GPU. Also here, also these fans, they don't have become more noisy, but that's probably due to the fact that it mostly just doesn't really do all that much. it's really overkill. But if I ran like a game here and there, it always coped with it pretty good. I do run some BeamNG drives sometimes, and well, it's more a processor intensive game, and you know, still nice to have a dedicated GPU. And well, the Xeon doesn't even have a dedicated GPU. It's necessary. Anyway, we get here this very dusty Corsair 600 watt power supply, and I would buy that all over again. Yeah, and here you see why this Fractal case is so awesome. First of all, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hard drive bays, which is just insane. And here is the Seagate, the Western Digital, the Samsung SSD, and another 1.5 terabyte Western Digital. And they're all kept nice and cool apart from each other, so they don't heat unnecessary. It wouldn't make sense to me to put all of them in here and then have none here. So it's kind of more spread out. This spreads the heat a little bit better. Here we get the optical drive and the RAM. Yeah, we get. They're all running the same frequency, but I think the left one is a HyperX. Yep, and the right one is I don't know. But they're all 2666 megahertz. I don't know. Anyway, they're good. I tell you that, they're good. We get gigabit Ethernet, which is great. And yeah, nothing more to show you. Almost all the SATA ports are used up, so that's when you know you get a proper computer. And yeah, I don't even have additional fans other than this one here, which could really need a little clean, and this one here. And when I built it, I always thought, you know, I'm gonna need another fan. At least when I put in more hard drives, I'm gonna need it. But no, the hard drives are nice and cool. It's not loud. You know, it's fine. It really is. So this is my setup. Nothing crazy on the back. It's like just your standard ports. We got 2 DVI and HDMI on the graphics card, and yeah, I think that is, this one is display port or whatever. We got all the audio, the normal ones, USB 3, and here just, you know, your standard ports, nothing crazy. I had a Wi-Fi card in here, but I removed it. And yeah, so this is my PC. It is by far my favorite computer. It has never had a problem, never ever. It never crashed, unless Windows did it. But it's very reliable, and I hope it continues to do so, because I'm not replacing this in the next years. It's just so fast. Still, the processor kicks ass. It's never stressed on what I do. It's just so nice. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you later.